Okay, today is Monday, April 1st, 2024. It's 10 a.m., and this is our regularly scheduled City Council work session. And work sessions are a time that council sets aside, and we use the work sessions to go over agenda items that we're going to be working on with staff, or that staff have already done a lot of work on, and they're going to be bringing forward to the City Council at a future date for a decision, oftentimes in the form of a formal vote. Because the work session doesn't involve any voting, we also don't have public comment during work sessions, but anyone is allowed to be here in person for work sessions. Anyone's allowed to watch the recording, ask us questions, follow up on any items that they want. Work sessions are also great because we usually go way in depth to the items that will be coming forward to a city council meeting. And so oftentimes at our city council meetings, we'll refer to a work session where anyone interested in that particular item can learn more information. And then sometimes we have residents join us, like we will this morning. So we'll jump right in, and we'll start on our first discussion item, which is the Montrose Recycling Advisory Committee update. And our Public Works Director, Jim Scheid, is going to kick us off, and then I believe we have some members of our recycling group.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, we do have a couple of guests, so I'll invite up Leslie Hollenberg and Claudia Rogers. They're with our Montrose Recycles Advisory Committee, and this isn't a vote item. We're just bringing an update for some several items that were completed in 2023 and some goals for 2024, which the group will tell you about. And then also I'll be able to give you some updates on a recyclable market updates and some details on our spring cleanup event coming up.
Good morning. We have been before this group before, but we are very happy to be back. And when Claudia first asked me, can you give me a list of what we did in 2023? I thought that'd be a quick list until we started writing it down, and we realized we've actually done quite a bit. So I'm just going to go over it real quick. I think you just got that handout. First of all, our mission is to encourage recycling, educate the public on practices to create a clean, sustainable community and environment through rethinking how we use our limited resources responsibly by refusing, reducing, reusing, and recycling. So this is what we've done in 2023. We started doing recycle audits again. We put that on pause during, well, I think recycling was pretty much on pause during COVID for the most part, and we certainly didn't want to be going through anyone's recycling at that point. So last year, we started the audits again, and one thing that's been very helpful is Able has set up a sign that says recycle audit, which really got people questioning, like, what is that? And calling to Public Works on a regular basis, which is good. We want to encourage people to think about it. You know, everyone that has a can wants to recycle correctly. And it's kind of hard to know exactly how to do that because it does change. So we audited 3 neighborhoods. We're very happy to find the ones in town here were pretty good for the most part. We also audited the police department and the city offices. Again, by audit, I mean we just go through the recycle cans and make sure that what's in there should be recycled and not plastic bags, not styrofoam, not, you know, your lawn trimmings, whatever. We did get that electronic sign to announce the dates, which I mentioned was very effective. And we had an informational hard copy that we stapled to the bins to say, you've done a great job, or good effort, but please keep these things out, or you didn't do so hot, your bin's not going to be picked up today. And then it's an ongoing process because we want to get feedback. Somehow we want to know, like, okay, you want to recycle correctly, but maybe you have more questions. So we're still trying to figure out how to reach people. That's the hardest part. You know, do we put up banners? It's a mystery. We haven't quite sorted that part out. Then in terms of Rotary Park events, The summer music series, we actually had a young man, Jack Flower. You guys may know Jack. He's the student body president, quite an aspiring young person who was working on his Eagle project, and it was recycling. So that was right up our alley. So I assisted him. He and his fellow Boy Scouts did the first summer music concert. And then we did the 4th of July celebration, and it's usually a couple of members in our group that go out and do that, and then Oktoberfest. So basically, and Jim has pointed out, that's a very helpful thing to keep all those bins, and there's quite a few, clean, because that's the whole thing about recycling. We don't want contamination. I've done 3rd grade recycling presentations, and of course, the kids are thrilled to see the truck, the recycled truck that comes out. They do the demonstration with that. Claudia set up a presentation at the Senior Center, and we had the Water Department, Police Department, Region 10, Historical Museum. They all participated. And then, of course, we did a City Council interactive session with you guys. Then we tried to reach out to HOAs to share recycling updates, but that sort of was a dead end, so maybe we'll try that again. And then our activities, in May, I believe it was, we do the 4th grade Recycle Relays. It's a natural resource festival, and Nancy Kelso, who's a former teacher, heads that up. And then, of course, we had our Earth Day rally on the corner of Main and Townsend, the Snowball Park, I like to call it, Dimmerette, and my environmental club at the high school and LULAC participated in that. Then in terms of trying to education and displays, we had the display case at the library for April, which we will start again today. We'll have it the whole month. We created new recycling signs for events, and then the Senior Center Recycle Right display. And then educating our recycle committee. I had the opportunity to go up to Denver and look at the MRF, the Materials Recovery Facility, which was really amazing. If you've never been to one of those, even if you went to the one in Junction, it's quite informative of what really happens to our recycling once it leaves here. And then we attended the Mila You Are Recycling Wrong workshop. That's a couple in town. They did the forum a couple of weeks back. And then we gave some feedback to the survey that the city put out. We were very encouraged to see that a very large majority of city residents do want to keep recycling. So not such a short list, as it turns out. So that was 2023. And Claudia's got our goals for this year.
Okay. And this list turned out to be way longer than I thought it was going to be. So our first goal is really to recruit new members. And by having our work kind of compartmentalized into different efforts, I think we're going to be more successful, or be successful to recruit people to do the education at the schools, or to do the cleanup at the Summer Music Festival. So that's our first thing. And in March, we had our first quarterly meeting that we held at the Public Works office, and Jim and Abel invited us to do that. We're going to be meeting quarterly with Jim and Abel so that we can keep them up to date on what we're doing and see where we can assist them on their efforts. We're going to continue doing the neighborhood recycling audits, and last year we did the mobile home park behind Bluecorn, and we did 2 residential neighborhoods with in their alleys. So that was gave us a good taste of what we need to look for when we're doing mobile home parks, when we're doing alleys, when we're doing street pickup. real different kinds of efforts and different kinds of information that we can provide people. In April, we're going to assist the Public Works with the spring cleanup by doing education, giving information when people are coming in to do their recycling for spring cleanup, and try to educate those people as well. We will. We will have done this, our recap with the City Council, sorry. We're doing, again, this year, the recycling display at the library. We're doing the Family Resource Fair at the Pavilion, and Leslie's been successful getting multiple-use water bottles for kids, and so we're going to be giving those out for youth and teens, right? Mm-hmm. Young kids and teens at the Pavilion this year. We're going to be submitting for the first time ever a budget to Jim to put into his Public Works budget request for 2025. We'll be doing, this April, we're doing a third grade recycle and a truck demo at Oak Grove. And that's the only one we're doing doing before the end of the school year. The rest of our school education will be in the fall when kids come back to school. We're doing the Earth Day rally again, and including the High School Environmental Club, and there's also a road cleanup that goes with that. So that's going to be a big day for everybody. We're going to assist Public Works with a display in the park, and Jim will talk more about that. Neighborhood recycling audits will happen approximately every 3 weeks. So we'll be on cycle so that the Public Works people know what to schedule, and we know what our schedules are going to be in advance. So that'll be good, and we'll do those through October. The fourth grade resource fair at the Natural Resource Fair at River Bottom. Leslie mentioned the relays with fourth graders, and it's an all-day event with all the schools in our area, Ridgeway, Delta, lots of schools. And then the summer program at the Rotary Amphitheater will be doing the concert series again. We'll be doing the 4th of July celebration, keeping up with recycling. We'll also be doing, and it's not on your list, but we'll be doing the first ever Montrose Pride event at the Rotary Park. We'll be doing recycle for that. We'll be also doing Oktoberfest in October. So in the fall, we'll kick back in with the schools. We'll, let's see. Oh, we're hoping to work with the planning for the new recycling facility and the Public Works facility that is happening, and talking about things that we can do as a committee and things that we can do maybe as a city to increase the value of the recyclables that we as a city send off so that we can get more revenue. And so we'll be working with Jim and giving him our ideas. So.
Yeah, and actually I had an update. I wanted to show some market changes to the value of our recyclables. So if I could share.
While he's getting that ready, I have a quick question. Does a recycling audit mean that our recycling, they take this is what I picture. They take the cans and they dump them out on like tarps, and you guys look through them? Like, how does a recycling audit work?
No, we just really look at the top third or
something
in the can.
Okay, so while it's on the sidewalk, you just kind of look at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
grabbers and gloves.
Okay, okay.
And we pull out obvious things that need to be put in the trash.
What's the most obvious one that you come up?
Styrofoam,
Styrofoam,
plastic
plastic.
bags.
Okay, thanks.
What network are you connected to? City employee, that's good. All right, bring up your meeting again.
One thing that we're hoping to put in our budget maybe are shirts that are a little more visible and maybe a little more attractive, like safety lime green or orange, or something, like
Cool.
Abel's got on, so that we can be recognized when we're dumpster diving.
That people recognize you maybe as official as opposed to just dumpster diving.
We kind of look like a little girl, a little brownie.
Yeah, little Girl Scout color. You can get away with a lot if you put on a high-vis vest.
Yeah, and brownies too, apparently.
All right, sorry, it took me a minute. So this is a graph of the value we get back from our recyclable materials as a rebate. So when we take all of our materials go as a single source or single bale to Denver to be sorted. And when they're there, they're then, depending on the value of each material, so when the markets are high, obviously, we get a rebate back from Waste Management for the value of our recyclable material. This is after we pay a tipping fee for it to be processed here at the recycle center. So this graph shows that rebate from 2017 all the way through current date. So as you can see, the recyclable market has gone up and down, seeing probably the highest peak here in early 2022. So this is basically all of the year of 21 through late 22. You see the market was very high then, but for a relatively short time as compared to how it was negative for years prior to that and even a shorter time here. But recently, we're back on the positive side of the line, which is good. So what that means is that the value of each of the different materials is more than what it costs to process it. And the cost of processing has gone up significantly. So for the recyclable material to be coming back as a positive is a good sign and kind of trending on that upward line. So hopefully we'll see it continue in that direction. But this is something we just watch closely and we find pretty interesting. And it is also depending on what's in our stream. So if we do an audit with Waste Management where they determine what percentage of our stream is plastic, how much is cardboard, how much is aluminum, all those things. And if our stream is entirely plastics that have a poor value, then our stream is probably never going to be positive. But if we were to have all aluminum, let's say, obviously our value of our stream would be very high. So trying to keep, that's why education is so important, is trying to educate we don't want contamination because obviously it has a negative value, but also what is very recyclable. So number ones and twos plastics are very recyclable. Cardboards are very recyclable, that sort of thing, aluminum obviously. But some of the other plastics, paper, those things, although they are recyclable, their value is very low. And so our value we get back from that overall, market value would be lower if we had, if it was entirely those other items. So education on what is recyclable is really important too. And that's what this group helps us out with a lot in conversation, because it's a difficult thing to explain, and a lot of people don't know the difference between one plastic to another. Even I don't in many cases. So it's education that really helps explain how we get to here and how we can increase that value we get back from the markets. Any questions on that? I just really want to show this as a graph I've had for several years.
Make sure you're using a mic because the recording, turn it on.
You were talking about the plastics. Many times it gets very difficult to see what number they are on. And the fallacy in that, if you've ever been around plastic molds, those are indented in the mold. And as that mold wears, it wears that down. So your manufacturers are the one who are causing some of that problem, and I don't know how you attack that piece of it, but it does, they do wear down.
Being able to recognize them just on like what type they are. So like a milk jug, for example, can be hard to read the number that's on the little triangle, but a milk jug is a very good example of a plastic that is very recyclable. That's a great one, has a high value. Or a clear, like an orange juice plastic bottle, the same thing. Those are probably a little bit easier to read because the plastic tends to hold its shape a little bit better for that stamp on there, but that's an example of a plastic that is very recyclable and very valuable. So sometimes it's in just more or less recognizing the types of materials and without having to read it. Is that a 3 or is that a 5 or, sometimes just knowing what you use on a regular basis that is very recyclable.
Do we have any, do we have anything on the city's website that kind of discusses all this and shows example, for example, well, this is the kind of stuff it is, and
Yeah, we do. There's a recycling guide on there that shows what to recycle, what not, like do's and don'ts. And then we also have monthly flyers we'll send out that are kind of recycling tips, and they often have pictures like this, or these are good recycling, this is bad recycling, trying to make it easy to where you're not trying to memorize what numbers of plastics we recycle, so trying to keep it more visual. So yeah, they're on the website. The recycling guide is a good resource. Then also through social media, we send out tips regularly.
well, actually, what I was wondering is if there's somebody talking, saying, hey, this, like we do our little conversations about what's happening in the city, and something that somebody could sit there and, on YouTube perhaps and listen to it and say, oh, instead of trying to read it and trying to figure out.
I don't think we've
the
done the
thing.
videos
Yeah.
yet, but the forum presentation from April 22 is on there, which is all about recycling. So that video is on there. But we could add that to the list. if
Yeah.
anybody-
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's all I have for this item. I actually just wanted to mention also the spring cleanup was mentioned as the group will be helping with that, and a big event as part of our Earth Week coming up. So that's April 26th and 27th. It's an annual event that we do every year, but it is related to recycling because we do take electronics. We do take obviously any kind of scrap material to clean up from your house. So that again is April 26th, 27th for city residents off the San Juan bypass. By Sunshine Peak Apartments. There'll be 12 hours each day, 7 to 7. Look forward to seeing everybody there.
And that's where you can dump stuff for free, like if you had like a broken Lazy Boy recliner and you were like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. You just take it there and throw it in a pile.
Yeah, exactly, yep. And
Oh,
we'll even help
okay.
you throw it in the pile.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's meant for, clean up around your house, or if you're doing remodel or throughout the year you've accumulated just debris, in your yard or in your house. That's what this is meant for.
Okay.
It's not meant for like household trash. So we don't want the bag out of your kitchen trash can.
Put that on your curb
Put
every
that in
week.
your trash can
This
like
is stuff
normal.
that you
This is-
can't put on the curb because it's too big or too long.
Yeah,
or-
well, it's kind of one large cleanup event. Again, you're doing a project at your house and you had a pile of debris from it, or you're doing a spring cleanup at your place, and that's what this is for.
But no electronics with
Yeah.
screens, right?
Paint,
No, not with screens,
paint,
because
electronics.
we take electronics with screens all the time at Public Works. So a TV or a monitor with a glass screen, we take those regularly at Public Works. But if you had other electronics, printers or anything else, that's what we take at this event. We don't take tires at this event because we take those at Public Works regularly, any day. And we don't take hazardous materials, so no paints, nothing else like that, nothing hazardous. This is just for cleanup debris, again, that spring cleanup type of idea, so. Yep.
And then, every once in a while, someone says, well, I would love to do that, but I have no way to haul stuff there. The city can come and do a special pickup at your curb for a pretty small price. So if you have a bunch of junk and you want to spring clean, but you don't want to, or have the ability to load it up, you can put it on your curb and call Public Works. And it's there's a fee, but
Yep.
it's relatively low compared to trying to, hire
Hire
someone
somebody,
to
yeah.
take it.
Yep, So what you're referring to is a special pickup for us, and yet you can call in for Public Works, and we can do that, where if you have debris and you're not able to haul it, we can do that. This is throughout the year.
Throughout the
We do
year.
that sort of thing. Usually on Wednesdays and Thursdays is our special pickup days. But for this event also, we are partnering with Habitat for Humanity, and so if you have items that you aren't able to haul, they will go pick them up for you. So they're obviously mostly interested in those things that they can resell, so maybe
Sure.
a couch or a table
That
or
lazy
something.
boy if it's in good condition.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so they are a resource for that. But yeah, if there's a pile of debris that you're unable to haul, that is something that Public Works does on our regular scheduled week.
I think that's good to know about, because
All right, so that's all we have, unless there's any questions.
Yeah, just one more. Do you know if they still have, like, for example, at the paint stores and Home Depot and that they were charging extra for the paint you buy if they were taking those back as recycles?
I believe they still are. Abel may be here. Sherwin-Williams.
we'll take used
It will take used
But
paint.
only like maybe 5 gallons at a time, I think.
I believe so, there's a limit. Yeah,
Okay,
I
it
think
it was
it's
just,
5
when you brought that other, that we don't do, and I was just thinking about that, they used to, and then sometimes things just go by the wayside, and people forget, or they throw it in their trash cans. and they
Sherwin-Williams will
can
take
really
paint.
Take
Home-
it over to their paint store supplies.
Home Depot takes the compact fluorescent light bulbs, the curly ones. City Public Works takes the long fluorescent light bulbs. And also the batteries, like you might have on a cordless screwdriver, you can put those, there's a box at Home Depot to recycle those as well. So there's a lot of stuff out there. It's just hard to sometimes know it all, figure it out, who takes what.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that update, and thank you to Montrose Recycles Committee. We really appreciate you guys doing this, because it is a more work than city staff alone, and so to have residents who are really committed and passionate doing that work, thank you so much on behalf of the city for doing that and helping us keep our community refusing, reducing, reusing, and recycling. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have a west-south First Street right-of-way vacation. City Attorney Chris Dowsey.
Thank you, Mayor Bynum, members of council. Yeah, so what this is just going to be a right-of-way vacation on West-South First Street. Yes, it's on the corner of West-South First, South Grand Avenue, and also South Water Avenue. It's going to be less than 500 square feet of right-of-way. The building, a metal frame building, was built in the right-of-way in some time prior to the 60s. The first photo that I was able to find was from the 60s. This was found out when the property was changing hands, and the new owner has asked for us to vacate the right-of-way. We have no use for this small portion of right-of-way, so the city staff is comfortable with giving this right-of-way. There is a map in the packet that shows the small portion that the city would be vacating. And from our perspective, this really does, it helps clean up the title for the current owner. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions about it.
Anyone have any questions? Seems pretty straightforward. Council will be hearing this item at the meeting on the 16th for a vote.
Correct.
That would take public comment at that point.
Correct. And it will be done by ordinance as granting any interest in property.
Okay.
It has to be done by ordinance.
So if it's done by ordinance, it'll have a first reading and a
Correct.
second reading, and one will be a hearing, but we'll accept public comment both times.
That is correct.
Great. Okay, it doesn't look like council has any questions about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
General city council discussion, any items that council wanted to bring up?
Yes, I would just like to commend the police department on a fantastic Citizens Academy. That was probably the best one I've seen. Everybody did a great job, and it really gave each of the departments an opportunity to get out and speak to the people. So I think it was extremely successful.
Good job, Montrose PD. Any other general city council discussion items? Okay, any staff comments? Anything we need to know about this morning that can't wait till tonight? Okay. We do have a regularly scheduled city council meeting tonight at 6 o'clock because tomorrow would be regularly our normal meeting, but it is an election night and that takes a lot of some staff resources and diverts council's attention. And so we are having our city council meeting tonight, and that was all publicly noticed, and everyone should be aware of that who wishes to come to our meeting and observe it tonight. And that'll be 6 o'clock right here. Okay, everyone have a great day. Thank you very much.
Short and sweet.